Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas broke the NFL's single season reception record by catching 149 passes. That was in 2019. What is he going to do in 2020? And should fantasy football players consider him with the fourth overall pick? Let's bring on the expert by talking with Kyle Mosley, who covers the Saints, and also Shawn Childs, our SI fantasy extraordinaire. So, Kyle, I'll go to you first. I think 149 catches is out of the question for 2020. But what do you see him doing? Because we know that he's locked and loaded for at least, I don't know, 95, 100 catches seems to be Thomas's normal rate.
Yeah, well, of course, this season is going to be over 100 again. And you do have to factor in the fact Emmanuel Sanders is now a part of the fold in the wide receiving core. But I really believe when you look at Michael Thomas, look at the touchdown production. He had 9 last year. I think he's going to go over 10, possibly 12 to 13 this season. I think also he may be able to notch around between 1,300 to 1,500 yards. It's still going to be a high-flying production year for him. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get anywhere near 149.
See, the great thing about Thomas is he doesn't need to get back to that 149 mark to really implant himself as an elite level wide receiver in fantasy football. He's been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years, even without that record-setting season with 149 catches. Shawn, I see him going off the board right after those top 3 running backs with Zeke, Christian McCaffrey, and Saquon Barkley. Would you pull the trigger on drafting Thomas with that 4th overall pick?
It's really close. Zeke's the 3rd guy for sure there in the mix because his catches aren't, they fell back a little bit, and even the quarterback steals some touchdowns. So I could see fantasy owners taking Thomas 3rd overall and maybe even considering Kamara. But Kamara, last year only had about 18 touches a game. But, Thomas, like you said, tremendous player. The only thing he was lacking is the touchdowns to be elite. And if the Saints score more and they have a more dynamic offense, he's going to get a lot more chances. His catch rate over the last 2 years, 85%, 80.5% last year. Had all the catches last year. Impressive season. Over the last 32 games, he averaged 8.6 catches, 98 yards, and 0.56 touchdowns. That's about 21.68 fantasy points per week, which is really, really impressive. He's just a foundation guy. And if you can find a running back you really like on the 2-3 turn is to be your number 1 running back, he's definitely going to be edge. He's going to be productive in a lot of games, and he's going to help you win fantasy leagues down the stretch.
Yeah, I just love drafting Thomas. I think he's one of the safest players to get on your team in that first round. I would take him as early as that 4th overall pick. Shawn and Kyle, great stuff as always. Find out where we have Michael Thomas ranked and all the other wide receivers in the NFL by going to si.com/fantasy.